Hello everyone, welcome to What If Deku was an infected vampire? What do I mean by this? I mean if you ever seen or played the game Resident Evil Village, or aka Resident Evil 8, yes, a very good subscriber gave me this idea. Shout out to Alex Langton. Alex Langton, thank you for the idea, my comrade. Thank you. As for how the story will begin, I mean, I just read up recently that the origins of the Lady Dimitrish. So yes. So the blood, I guess essence was actually from a what was it? I believe, what was it? It was passed down. I think it was like a disease. Yeah, I believe it was like a disease where it gave them the I guess the see blood as an option. Like how have food. Normal foods are an option where the disease Lady Dimitrish had before she was a vampire. Yes, before she became a vampire. Blood, her infatuation with blood was her thing before she became an actual vampire, or under Mother Miranda's guidance, I guess you can say. That would be very useful in the story to kind of build off upon. Ethan Winters, I mean, for his side, it's more. I mean, the abilities aren't really on his side. The only side, he has are, able to flip and reconnect flipping limbs and just heal them. If you've seen the game, this man got his hand cut off and just stitched it back with, juice, some type of juice. Just poured it on, just stuck it on, and, oh, look, my hand works now. So, yeah, if you know, you know. It's kind of like a Frankenstein, but, if Frankenstein had, a very terrifying connection quirk with his abilities. Yeah, kind of like a lizard, but you can kind of, if you have old limbs, you kind of, you can reattach them, and it's just fine like that. You don't, no doctor, no nothing needed. Kind of weird. Anyways, yeah, back to, the side of not Mother Miranda, Dimitrish. The sides of Dimitrish, Deku would be getting a decent amount of abilities. One, a heck of a, healing factor from both sides, technically, because both of them have, the only difference from, Ethan's side is that, he can just reconnect limbs like Deadpool can. The side for Mother Miranda is that bullets, heart, anywhere in the body, as long as it's not, I guess, the head, I mean, you'll need, a shotgun, just not even one shot from a shotgun. You need a couple shots from a shotgun to kill this man. So I mean, yeah, still pretty powerful. So I mean, technically he doesn't have a weakness, but he technically does. If you know the boss fights, you usually have to aim for the head, and even so, it takes 1,000, takes away all your ammo just to shoot him in the head, just to kill him, my guy. So yeah. And then he's gonna have the body of, what was his name? Chris. Or, just, I guess a bigger, buffer version of Chris. The height, before Lady Dimitrish wasn't as tall as, she was, normal. With, disease, which, caused her to drink blood. Which, eventually, after meeting Mother Miranda, the entire thing happened, turning her into a vampire, which, eventually, due to the regeneration, kind of, with the blood, thing, to, help out and, keep the regeneration alive, she had to, constantly feed off blood to, have her regeneration. And she also got her height, her, massive height by that, meaning that, 9 feet wasn't natural. She kind of got that by, absorbing a lot of, blood. So, yeah. And also, it was technically a mutation as well. So, Deku, combination of these two are very deadly. brains and flipping just. I was gonna say build different, but I already used that too much for another what if. So, blah blah blah. Dracula, practically, technically. Yeah. And the daughters, all three daughters of Lady Demetrish. I may think of a way to have Deku have daughters, but I'm not sure. So I'm just gonna have that in the shadows for now. Deku will have a brother though, a twin brother. So yes, and that's about all. Yeah, Deku would be, I guess. I guess he'd be on the verge of like 8, 9. Wait, no, 9 feet. So he'd be like 7, 7'3", 7'5". Because I'm trying to balance out the height with Ethan and Demetrish. So yeah, I'll say like cutting that like maybe 2 feet, maybe like a good 1 feet, 2 feet. So Deku would, when he does, get all his stuff, he would be like the height of like 7'5", 7'6" almost. About 7'6", like about that, like right there. He'd be like 7'6", right there. So he'll be a bit above. Hold on, I'm pretty sure he'll be taller than All Might. Hold on, I believe All Might's like what, like 7'2", I think. Hold up, just real quick. How tall is All Might? Okay, he is 7'2". Oh yeah, so this man really tall, bro. This man like 7'6". Comment down below how tall you think I should make Deku, like in 7 range, because he is gonna be taller than All Might, but I just don't know how much. Because realistically, if I do put the genes together, if they did have a child, it'd be in like the 7 range to 6 feet range. But realistically, due to the also vampire mutation she gets from blood, I'll say more range of like 7 range. So I'll say like maybe 7'3", 7'5" But not Miranda. Demetrish is like 9. What? I believe it was like 9'3". I believe she was. Hold up, let me see. She is 9. What was the height? 9'6". Yeah. 9 feet 7 inches. So yeah, Deku would be like 7 feet, like 5, 6 inches maybe. Comment down below how he is. Anyways, he does not start off like this. Of course, reasonings, Deku will be, very different for multiple reasons. For one, Deku, I'll say reasons, one of Inko's relatives had a, how can I combine this? So I'll say, I'll say Deku. This is gonna be hard now that I think about it. How am I gonna put this in his perspective? You know what? I got an idea. So Deku's grandmother would have, she would have, infatuation with blood, and Deku's grandpa would have a gravity quirk, as Inko would have a gravity quirk and an infatuation with blood. leading on to, yes, Deku is still quirkless, and, it's not going to be a quirk, because, you have so much stuff to deal with, so, kind of sucky if you just make it a quirk, so, yeah. As Deku, that would kind of lead on with Deku as well, of being quirkless. He is still quirkless, but, he has a manfiction with blood, which will kind of... It'd be weird. How would you say? Deku would... I don't know, it'd be weird. Deku would kind of just, I guess people, she would, have drops of blood in, Deku's meals. Kind of, give him used to kind of certain things. But, Deku, I'll say if, Deku doesn't drink a matter of blood, he would get sick. So, yeah. So, because he doesn't have the quirk to kind of, have the disease feed off the quirk. So, that's why Inko's quirk is so weak, and due to Deku not having a quirk, it will make him sick instead of, kind of making your quirk weaker. So, yes. Haha, loophole. So Deku, without eating blood, Deku would have a disease that would kind of, if he doesn't get new blood cells or, anything like that, he would start, becoming pale, getting sick if he doesn't get blood. Will lead on to, him getting bullied by Bakugo. Deku would always have, a necklace around him. It would be a amulet. Yes, an amulet. Which, that can be very important. Very, very important for the future. Very important. It's a very, it's a family heirloom. Ancestors try to open it, but, it was unopenable. Inko tried it once. Didn't really open for her. Because, they only thought of, trying to, open it safely, not trying to destroy the amulets. Yeah. So no hammers were used or anything like that. Why is the amulet so, important? Tell you later when, everything happens. So, besides, practically being, a vampire without, vampire regeneration and whatnot, practically. I guess being like a tick, I guess. Just, like blood, I guess. Just imagine Toga, but a lot more calmer and, still infatuation with blood. So, yeah. So, Deku, he would be a very calm person. Due to, he knows that even, if he was a hero or, wanted to become a hero, he would find a way to, people wouldn't see him, drinking blood, hero. So he would kind of, he would still want to become a hero, but he would be on edge about it. On how he should be a hero. How should he, do things. So he thought, he had to, keep it down for, a shadow hero like Aizawa. So he would like Aizawa, and I'll say, Midnight, because I think Midnight is, a night hero, I think. No, maybe, I don't know, I'm pretty sure she was, a day and night hero. Anyways, Deku would like night heroes a lot, for multiple reasons. Deku, by being bullied by Bakugo, Deku would be not, I'll say, one time, Deku, was drinking, things that looked like, Kool-Aid. And if you know where I'm going with this, Bakugo being in the impatient, because I'll say Bakugo's downstairs, Deku's in his room, they're having, a sleepover, or, just, I guess, a party or something. Some type of, gathering downstairs. It was that time where, Deku had to drink blood. Being the unflippin' patient ass this child is, Bakugo would, run upstairs, bang on the door, Deku, come out of here! So, as, the door opens, as, Bakugo sees Izuku drinking blood, as, he would scream, tell his mother. I'll say Mitsuki would know of this, but she wouldn't really care because, As long as she, don't hurt anyone, doesn't matter. So, I mean, yeah. Good friend, Mitsuki, so yeah. So, that changed Bakugo's personality, ideas or, just point of view on Deku entirely. Thinking he's some type of villain, monster, vampire villain thing, I guess. And, still quirkless, so I mean, yeah. So, I guess he would kind of have this fear, not like, a great fear, but kind of, like, that, that saying, like, I'm not gonna bite you or anything, yeah, that, Bakugo sees that as, literally, so, yeah. Especially due to, him, impatiently, knocking on, Deku's door and kind of, finding him drinking blood, so, I mean, yeah. As, I'll say Hisashi didn't know about this. So Hisashi would, he would, eventually... No, I'll say Hisashi already left. I'll say he left, when Inko... I'll say he left like a week before Inko, gave birth to Deku. Because, I'll say at the, at that time, Deku started, Inko started drinking a lot of blood. Especially, like, twice. Like, double the amount due to, having a child in you. And, due to Deku being quirkless, sickness and whatnot. So, yeah. Hisashi found out, overseas now. He went to go get the milk. Saw her as, some type of freak and whatnot. As you know, Bakugo wouldn't, visit them anymore due to Deku. And every time they were at school, Bakugo would always, have his gang up on Deku, calling him, like, a vampire, like, monster or something like that. Even though Mitsuki specifically told Bakugo to keep it secret, which, being Bakugo how he is, he wouldn't be able to keep that secret at all. Not at all. And that's when, yeah. I believe she was, like, 44, I believe, when it happened, so, that makes sense. I'll make UA a college. So I'll make Deku like maybe 10. Yeah, I'll make Deku 10 when it happens, cause that's because Lady Dimitrescu got that entire thing. Got her high and whatnot like that. Okay, so for reasonings, I'll say Deku. I'll have, the thing that Bakugo said earlier, or, in the anime, come jump off, you freak, you maybe get a quirk and, be normal in your next life and whatnot. Just adding some things here and there. As that's the thing Deku would take consideration. Deku would be, he would be a very, before that, he would be, a very bright kid. He would be very happy. He'd be in, normal Izuku, of course, but, just a tad more cheery. Just a tad more cheery. Isn't canon. But he would take this into consideration and realized, he would look through, he would look through all his memories of, him drinking blood, him getting sick. Maybe I would be normal if I jump. As da-da-da-da, he jumps. And I'll say this is like I'll say this is like maybe maybe 10 minutes after the school ends. I'll say Bakugo is now leaving. So Deku decides to jump, and where does he jump? Right in front of Bakugo. Cause I'll say Bakugo's on the ground. He's on the roof. Deku's on the roof. He jumps. Wow, wow, wow. Police are called, ambulance, everything's called. So, yeah. Deku's, he technically did. But at the same time, as Deku was betrayed as, his heart, nothing. His heart was gone, I mean, not gone. You know what I mean, no pulse, no heart pulse, no breathing, no nothing. So, they continued him as dead. As, as a couple times, due to, Inko's thing, she's clearly angry. After a couple things, she had to, go to a mental hospital for, reasons. Multiple reasons. So, yeah. And, yeah, that's where everything goes sideways. Deku, at the morgue, the padlet, or what did I call it again? Pad something? Pedalum? Necklace thing? You know what I mean. Anyways, yeah, the padlet thing opened up. As it was like a rock, I'll say mid-air, Deku was trying to fidget it. Eventually saying, I can't even open this. As, he jumps. As, mid-air before he falls, it kind of opens up. I'll say, it cracks, There's, a mini rock in the padlet. In the necklace. A mini rock in there. As, it cracked. As there, was a little insect. I'll say like a mini, like a centipede or something. In the rock. As when it, I'll say when he hit on the ground, he hit the ground again. I'll say, it kind of closed the necklace, and then, after, being moved around, moved on to the morgue, he would eventually, the necklace would eventually open up due to being loose by the fall. And, practically having an entire person, step on the necklace. I mean, yeah. He was also, he left it, people left the necklace on him, because, I guess, so yeah. So, the necklace opens up. The centipede crawls out, goes into Deku. As the, things start to happen. As Deku, with the power of the, how do I say this without being cancelled or flipping demonetized? Infected, yeah. That's what I said, infected. Well, Deku being infected... Deku before he had, he had a little, regeneration and whatnot due to, the blood drain, white blood cells. He drank blood. Blood gave him white blood cells, so yeah. Give him, a slight regeneration above other people. As, yeah. Deku, in this, we go to Deku's mindscape. As a fractured boy. He met this entity, you would say. Or, another side of him, you would say. Kind of like, the good and bad part of him. But, I'll say he's the good one. As, the evil version, or, the real, I'll say, there's reality and then there's, fantasy. He's the fantasy part, becoming a hero. As, the reality version of himself. The one that sees, all the negative sides of him. Are you sure you want to die here? I can give you power. Allow me to. It doesn't matter what people think. People are gonna think us as a freak anyways. Just let me help you. You can become a hero. You can become anything you want. If you allow me to help you. Please. As, with no hope left in this entity, or, technically his personality, or, realism, gives him hope. No one else gave him hope. Even, his mother kind of, same thing as in kind of, sorry, same thing with Inko. She's, didn't believe him. He can become a hero. I'm sorry, instead of, yes, you can become a hero, so yeah. With no one hoping, giving him hope in life. This thing, or, him, technically, gave himself hope. As inside the, whatever the thing is called, that locker thing, it starts to move, and, Deku's body starts to twitch and move. Sporadically. Twitch and move. As, cracking of bones and, not recreation, but, bones going back in place. Bones growing, bones snapping, the basic, mutation of, transformation practically. As you know, there's a lot of things in here, like a lot. So, a lot of noise is being emitted from, Deku's, locker, you would say. Or vault, whatever y'all prefer. A lot of noise was being made. Ending up in Deku, how do you say, being revived in some sort of way. But this would make Deku's body very pale. Due to, him technically using, all the white blood cells, all the, nutrients to kind of, revive him. Leaving Deku's body very pale, you would say. And very, hungry for, if you Deku's bloodlust or blood infatuation, the infected what he is practically, or what was inside, what became what inside of him, kind of increased that, it was minor before, when he was normal, or technically normal as can be, he had a normal blood, just a small thing, that little itch, every I guess every hour, every meal, I guess, with blood. But now it's kind of like due to Deku, having no vitamins or nutrients in his body, that blood thing, blood infatuation kind of increased by like tenfold practically. So yeah. He hungry. He very hungry. He a hungry boy right now. He a very hungry. So what would he do is that try to, he doesn't know where he is. Remember, he doesn't know he died. Because I say, for reasons I'll say he does know, but he at the moment, he doesn't really care about that. He only cares to know, why is it so dark? As he tries, kicking. As he eventually busts open the lock of, the locker. As he sees he's in the morgue. As he freaks out, but then, memories, collapse or, relapse in his mind. As the greenness in Deku's eyes left, replaced with a crimson blood red. I remember everything. No one believed in me. And now that they said it was impossible to become a hero, I am the impossible. Now. Where am I? From what I can tell, it's a morgue. Hold up. I jumped. Everything turned dark. I made the deal. Yeah, practically. Yeah, that's about what happened. As he gets up. As someone, unfortunately, I'll say, someone locked the door when, they kind of entered, the morgue. They're putting in, another body, a locker. The unfortunate soul to, cross Deku's path. We flash to screaming and, blood everywhere on the walls. We all know what happened to this man. A very hungry vampire. Just woke up, scared, very hungry. Human, right there. A door is locked, so, the person can't get out without getting the keys out. Yeah, we all know what happened. Man, this man just got eaten by Deku, so, yeah. So, yeah, he just ate him, so, yeah. That didn't satisfy his hunger, though, at all. It did, but you know what I mean. It gave, the basic, it gave him back, gave him back some of his strength. As, some color started, regained in Deku, but not much, though. Kind of like a slight shade of, tan, I guess. As, more going on, Deku, I'll say it's nighttime. I'll say it's... How long do I want it to be? I'll say it's been like, what, like... I'll say it's been like 10 years, maybe? I'll say it's like 10 years since because no, I'll say it's like 3 years. Wait, was the original thing with the accident of Ethan, the house accident, 3 years or 4 years? Yeah, I'll say I think it was 3 years. So I'll say Deku's been dead for like 3 years now. So yeah. Deku has, died. Of course, 3 years. He's, looking through papers, eventually walking, killing, eating, drinking anyone who, isn't unfortunate to, cross his path, practically. Getting his strength up. As Deku, over these 3 years, Deku's been... Nah, because he's been dead for 3 years, so he'd be like, wait, so he was 10, so I say he'd be 13 now. So then in the next 2 years, he has been, doing things. What do I mean? We go to, the Inko residence, or, what's left of it. We get a paper in the mail. Or technically to Inko. A castle, one of her ancestors' castle. Or, technically, a large portion of land. By, like, miles long. If you know what I mean, the entire, Resident Evil 8 map. Ancestors of Inko were found that, they owned a large portion of land, castle, village. Which, was given to Inko, but due to Inko being there, they kind of had it out in the open. Which, people kind of bought it, but, not rightfully there. So, I'll say before, it kind of, it was at the house. I'll say, before the house, it was kind of left on, that was kind of, left under the rug, or, rug, like, of the house. So, Deku, the first place you do, the first day, guessing, you kind of, eat, as a vampire, you kind of, drink things, eat things, trying to, get your strength up. As, the second day, third day, Deku, walks to his, old house. Seeing that there were, this thing under, the map, poking out the map, a piece of paper. Seeing that his family owned, his ancestors owned, a castle and everything. Even though it was bought up. Due to reasons, Deku is technically still the owner, or, the last owner, or, technically the present owner, by blood, and, by legal reasons. They think they bought, the people who bought it think they bought it, which will be, I'll say the Momoyarozus, for reasons. They bought it. It's like, that land, I got it. I want it, I got it. So, yeah. But soon did they know, of course, they, due to Deku, technically being dead, they signed it off as, no owner, it's rightfully, the communities, or, whoever's dumb enough to buy it, so, yeah. Or, whoever, got the money to buy it. Momoyarozu bought it. And, due to Deku being alive, it technically, by legal documents, and, by, a technical living member of, the owner, it's legally his. Even by papers of someone else's, due to, it technically being his family's, he technically owns it by court and by law. So, yeah. So, I'll say, a day before, I'll say, decent while, I'll say, it took, a decent while for, the Momoyarozes to go in. So, we go before the Momoyarozes moved in to, the castle and whatnot. We go to Deku walking. Well, I'll say he got raggedy clothing and whatnot. And this is, a year, a very old castle, of course. Like a very, very old castle. A very old castle. A very, very old castle. Very old. And And if you can see behind, Deku and all the images I had, technically 2 castles. One with a village, actually technically both of them have villages in them. But, both of them. I'll be right at the back to show you. Hey, I'm back. As you know, this is the castle. Where, the village on the side, the water. And, this is the front side of the castle. It's pretty big. So, yes. Deku is very, very, for reasons, I'll say these were lost documents. Very lost documents. And, the Demetrish, or, technically Deku's ancestors, Demetrish, owned, the entire castle, the village entirety. Like, the entire land. Like, that entire part, like, that entire city, state, whatever it is, the entire land point is owned by Deku. Yeah. Of course, over time, they kind of, shut, half of it off, 75, 95% of it off, which only leaves the castle. Which, the castles, is just kind of like a resort, almost like, kind of like Disneyland. So, they kind of make it like a history, horror attraction almost, like a Disneyland almost thing. Which, the castle itself wasn't really, it was kind of more of a historical, figure. Which, was illegal, by the way, but, due to the, when people think, it's abandoned, no one's using it, due to, people thinking, oh, I can own it now, if I just get the right documents, which is, illegal, but I mean, yeah. Yeah. So, that meaning that, everybody about it, everyone in that resort is about to, they're about to get a wake-up call, straight up wake-up call. As we go to Deku. As Deku with raggedy clothing would walk to the castle. He finds the resort. People, try to stop. I'll say, he enters, people don't, I'll say reasonings, first they didn't allow him in, and, eventually, how vampire do is it, they have secret entrances, or, Deku just jumped over the gate, practically, without their knowledge. So, going to, his legal, birthright. So, yeah, going all the way up to the castle, swinging, swiggy, just, dodging people left and right. Eventually, waiting until, he goes to the castle. Busting open the doors. Ah, I see. A lot of these things people have mistreated. My family heirloom. Which practically Deku has his own state, practically, mini-state, practically. Or, that, portion, that entire portion of Japan, Deku practically owns it legally. So, I mean, yeah. I must gain my composure. Of course, though, I've been very hungry recently. And due to me now finding this, I'll show everyone not to mess with me. They will all realize they made a very, very big mistake on how would you say, misunderestimating me. As you know, I'll say, the thing that was sent to him, I'll say the amulet he still has, gave him, the papers, or, the ancient papers of the, original documents of, the house. Or, technically the entire, land. So, yeah. The Disney people, after, looking for things, they couldn't find it, so, they kind of made, their makeshift own illegally. So, yeah. Deku, I'll say it was, in the dungeons. Deku found it. Got it. I'll say, the Midoriyas were originally, flipping, what was that last name? I believe, was it only Demetrish, I believe? Nah. I mean, it said the Demetrish family, but I mean, name, that's Japanese. Whoa. Yeah, I'll say like maybe Mistress Demetrish. Castle Demetrish. It was literally named Castle Demetrish. That's pretty cool. Alcina Demetrish. Huh, I guess that is her last name. Huh. So yeah, the Midorias were originally, the Demetrish family. With, technically Demetrish Winters, technically. If we're getting, technical. Demetrish Winters. Demetrish owned the castle, and the Winters owned the land. Yes. And eventually, Ethan Winters, Demetrish, Elisina, Demetrish, got married, had, children, ancestors, what happened after that. Yeah. Kind of, changing something from Resident Evil, but I mean, yeah. So, half of the things in Resident Evil didn't really exist or, came to be. So, yeah. As you know, technically, before the Midoriyas, or before, they changed the name, or, I'll say... No, okay, never mind. Because I just thought of it. Because technically you take the husband's last name. So yeah, Inko's name was, not Inko Midoriya, but, Inko, Demetrish Winters. So yeah. So yeah. Like, Demetrish Winters. Inko Demetrish Winters. So, Deku, hating his father with, like, a passion in his heart. Flippin' gonna kill him when he finds him. Drop the name Midoriya. By historical, the name change is still in documents, so, it is still, legit that, Deku's technical name is, in fact, Demetrish, Winters. So, I mean, yeah. Yeah. So, meaning that Deku is practically a king and is, like, his own flippin' town. Or, like, just kingdom, I guess. So, yeah. Even though he doesn't have the power, but I mean, society-wise he does, but, physically he technically doesn't. And, due to, and they can't say, oh, no, he's too young to own it. They can't say that, because, technically, I believe it was, like, what, like 13, like 16 to own, apartment. So, yeah, technically can't say no. Especially since, technically not just the only living relative, but, technically he is that age, technically. So, yeah. He owns everything right now. He gets the document, shoves that shit in his pocket. Actually, no. First of all, I'll say he'll laminate it. Because I'll say, there's, I'll say they turn, the dungeons into some type of, copying room or something. Or, just paper, papers for, tickets. There's tickets everywhere. I'll say it's like a Disney place. So, yeah. They, they had tickets. They had, papers. They had, just, I guess, park-themed papers and whatnot. Like, posters and whatnot. And, of course, they had laminator. Deku immediately laminated that shit. He was like, bruh, before this shit turns into dust, I'ma laminate it. Oh, laminates it. Good forever, practically. He laminated it about, like, 3 times. Making sure if that thing, it ain't getting ruined anytime soon. It's that good lamination, too. So, yeah, that thing ain't gone. That, like, it didn't tack, like, 100% tacked. Plus, flipping just strength increased. So, yeah. So Deku, with the power he has in his, it's kind of like that moments where, when you have the power of, like, the God mode power in those memes. Like, when somebody, like, an anime person goes by God mode, yeah. He starts floating. JK, he doesn't. He's like, what? Nah, this is Deku's face. What to do now? I own a castle now. Don't know what to do. No, because Deku technically... Yeah, 3 years has passed, so he's technically, 13. Yeah, technically. I was gonna say 2 years, but yeah. Deku kind of, going around the castle. No, there are rooms that, are, forbidden, are secret from, public and private. So, people who even, look through the castle for years still haven't found these rooms, which Deku has been sleeping in these rooms for the past, weeks right now. Deku's been waiting, and of course, the park was, the park was renovated by, Mamoyaya Roses. Mamoyaya Roses, kind of own the park, so I mean, yeah. They enter the castle. Yeah. Deku has this, how would you say, this suit, like blackish, like a trench, like a black trench coat almost. So yeah. He got, he got, over the time he does, snatch people from, the park. Snatch them to, eat them and whatnot. Because, I mean, you rather live than, them. So, I mean, you'd rather kill a random person than, let yourself die. So, I mean, yeah. Also, he leaves no fingerprints, no nothing. So, when he snatched the person, it's like they never existed. No fingerprints, no nothing. No evidence of, restraint or, trying to someone to escape. So, he grabs it, he is given super strength due to the amount of blood he's been given. So, he grabs a person's neck, snaps it, just snaps it. No longer living, just snaps it. Devours it right there on the spot. Not devours it, but, not drags them, because, I mean, he picks them up, throws them in, secret room, eats them later, strength, so yeah. Over the span of 2 years now, Deku has slowly but surely taken control of everything. Of course, in the shadows. He's been taking control of everything in the shadows. By himself, by the way. By himself. But we go to yeah, because I don't say how he's gonna get his daughter. So he technically would have daughters. What would be his daughter's names? I'll think about that later. Anyways, Deku, with the power he has, well, realistically, he'll be just going on the park, because, I mean, it's a park, so, I mean, might as well have fun if it's there. Because he knows eventually he's just gonna, take all the park out. Eventually bring it to, its old, medieval ways. So, I mean, yeah. He likes the quiet, but, he, if it's gonna be loud, might as well enjoy the loudness while it lasts. So, Brilliant. This will be very, very useful. Very, very useful. Of course, though, I want to be able to do this forever. I need others to help me, but for now, I have everything under control. A UA. Mamoyaya Rosa. Very rich. They think they can live in my castle. They're farly mistaken. Pathetic mortals. These mortals think they can attack me. I mean, sorry, scratch that. Not attack me. They think they can rule over my castle by blood. They are neither of my blood nor of my kind. How dare them think they can claim, humans can claim, my birthright. Pathetic. If I wanted to, I can sue the entire community of Disney if I wanted to. If it wasn't. But of course, I guess it wouldn't be called Disney, but it'd be called something like what should I call it instead of Disney? Daisy. Nah. Imagination. Yeah. I'll call it them, Imagination, Foundation or whatever. So, they kind of, Deku, with the power he does contain legally. If he wanted to, he can sue the entire, foundation or, entire, technical what was it called? Not factory. Business of, what did I call it again? Imagination. That's what I was gonna call it. I'm just gonna call it imagination because I'm like, I don't feel like coming up with an actual name. So yeah, he can literally sue them with like a whole lot of money. From how many years they've been doing this, he can get a lot. In fact, he can probably run their business down using their own money due to him technically owning the land. So I mean, yeah. Should I have my sense been known? I'm 14 now, so I mean, why not? I mean, their daughter has already seen me at least once. At least what she presumes to be a dream. When I was 13, I kind of met her. Very kind one. I don't want to kill her, though. She seems, especially with this thing called a quirk. My memories are complete. Quirks are very useful. And the quirk she has is creation. It'd be a very bad thing if I just kill her off the bat. As Deku gets a very evil smile. I just found one of the people who can help me. She's usually alone by at least a good 3 hours. In those 3 hours, I can convince her on joining. Or more lines of, if you become my ally, you don't have to die, practically. And I'll say, this park, or, the Imagination Foundation, or park, is, it's a rich person's, it's for rich people. So yeah, only rich people can enter this park. Also, it's like the #1 park in Japan. Also most expensive. So yeah. I know this is gonna sound cruel, but I mean, if Deku really wanted to, he can close, there is, a bridge and whatnot, there is, that portion of the land where there are gates. If he really wanted to, he can just close the gates and kind of, hunt down, like, all, like, the 1,000, 2,000, who knows how big. It's pretty big, so I mean, a decent... The 1,000? That'd be way more than 1,000. That'd be, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A lot of people. Like, he can hunt them down one by one. And due to, them being on private property, he can technically, it's technically self-defense, technically. Because, I mean, he doesn't want them there, but, I mean, they're still there. So, I mean, technically self-defense. Or, what was it called? What was it called? It was called, trespassing, yeah. Trespassing, private property, technically breaking in, technically. It's technically breaking in, so if he did, attack all of them, it would technically count as, self-defense in all categories. Even though it's kind of twisted, but I mean, true. But, people start, disappearing one by one. No trace whatsoever. So... As you know, a year has passed. And another. Making Deku 15. As you know, Deku has finally decided. I'll make it Deku 14. Yeah, I'll make it Deku 14 when this happens. Deku's gonna pull off a dick move and practically shut the gates right now. But first what he's gonna do, soothe Imagination for, all the profits and all their money. Second, practically kill everyone there. At least mostly. Third, people can't do shit because, he technically owns the property and all the things he's kind of saying is true. So, I mean, yeah. Yeah, this is kind of like a loophole in, like, this justice system, so you kind of can. And any, any defiance is kind of, breaking, what was it called? I believe there was another law. What was it called? Breaking and entering. Yeah, practically. So yeah, he can practically kill all of them. Like anyone in the park, everyone in the park, everyone. It's kind of like a Harry Potter park almost, technically. Yeah, about. There wouldn't be any rides. There more likely to be, just shops, like load of shops and whatnot. And there's rich people. There's, the low rich people. There's the middle rich people, and then there's a high rich people. So yeah. And there's the Momoyai Roses technically. So yeah. As you know, Deku's 14. I've been hiding for way too long. I've been waiting for way too long. I think it's time. Deku walks up to, the castle's dorms. Just butts the, door open. No. I'll say it's like mid-dinner. Yeah, I'll say it's like dinner time, nighttime, dinner time. My neck. Oh, hello, Momo Yaya Roses. Oh, hello, Yaya Roses. Welcome. Now, he wouldn't say welcome to it, because technically it's his house. He'll say hello. Hello, Momo Yaya Roses. Hello, how are you? Who are you? As people start freaking out. Who are you? Or, no, they'll think they're a butler. Hello, everyone. How are you? I'm Izuku Dimitrish Winters. I am the owner, or the legal owner, ancestry owner of the Dimitrish Castle. Meaning that everything you see, I own in this part of Japan. As people get confused, like, what is this dude talking about? As he pulls up the document, the almighty document. As guards, da-da-da-da. Guards try to attack Izuku, but, Izuku, just say it's been, like, an entire year. And, if you know the power of, the vampire in Resident Evil 8, if you know what Nemesis is, and you know what, Mr. X is from Resident Evil series, you know how fast or how strong Deku is physically. I mean, not Nemesis, just Mr. X, because, he's on that strength right now. So, realistically, yeah, he on that, I'm a wreck yo shit, practically. Kills the guards in front of everyone. Momo was confused, like, you're not a dream. I've seen you in my room at night, talking to me. Wait, so you're not a dream? Yeah, because, Momo was confused, like, hold up. Also, if you're wondering, all windows, everything that, can be exited or entered is locked by Izuku. Izuku knows everything about, any entrances or anything like that. Because, he's been here for, like, decent amount of time, so yeah. He does technically have super speed, but, he kind of, if you're given an entire Yutsuroma castle, especially if, you have, super speed, you can practically, learn everything about the castle. Especially since it technically took, like, decent amount of time for, the players in the game, Resident Evil, 8, to kind of, find out, everything, find, all the locations of the castle, so, yeah. And that only took, like, what, a day or two? Like, only took a day? Just imagine what this man Izuku can do in under, like, practically a year. He already knows everything about the castle, like every exit and flipping thing, so yeah. Yeah. Genocide! I'm sorry. Yeah, Deku on that genocide stuff, so yeah. He killed, like, all the guards. Like, the only guards that were there were, like, 4. Like, all the ones that were in the private rooms and all that, dead. Just non-existent, eaten by Deku. He kills 2 guards right there, because, 2 guards are the only ones that are, were at the table. Oh, no, technically 6, because, one at the beginning of the table, one at the end of the table, one and no, two at the beginning, two at the end, and two in the middle of the table. So yeah, Deku kills 6 people right in there, in front of everyone, or technically in front of Mamoyarozu, her mother, her father. I say Totoro. You know what? Yes, with the Todorokis too, because it would make sense. Because there gotta be some defiance, heroism, corruption. So I mean, yeah, Endeavor's there. Endeavor try to do something. Deku, I'll say Endeavor, all the grown-ups were the first ones to take the first bites, but Momo felt uneasy, so she didn't eat because she felt a little sick. So now anyone who took a meal or who ate the meal kind of got poisoned to kind of like a paralysis almost. This is brilliant. Now, I told you, I warned you once. Warned you once, shame on me. You attack me twice, I kill you. Simple as that. I only give one warning. And after that, I kill you. Dear Mamoyarozu. You will be one of my many followers. Of course, you should have seen what you put in your tea this morning. Of course, though. No one checks their tea. As you know, unlike everyone else, I'll say, for reasons, the Momo family dies with, except for, Mamoyarozu. Todoroki and, Endeavor don't die, but they are severely, internally injured by, poison. Due to, had them technically having, a fast, heating resistance and whatnot. So I'll say, I'll say, Deku takes them to, their house, all the way in, like, the other side, actually in Japan, because let's say, the Resident Evil 8 place isn't technically, let's say, for reasons, I'll say, convenience, it's not in Japan, but it's on, the outskirts of Japan, so it's, like, right out the outskirts of Japan, so technically not in Japan. Technically, it's technically declined as their own mini state practically, like Doctor Doom's place, or the place Doctor Doom, Victor Von Doom owns practically, his own state practically. So yeah, that's practically what Deku has. And when people start coming back, for the show, that's when Deku closes the gates. As you know, things slowly but surely start happening. They are, technically, even outside the gates is technically Deku's lands, I mean, yeah. So, yeah, there's about more than 1,000, I said 10,000 maybe? Yeah, about 10,000. Yeah, that sounds, proper. About 10,000 people. That sounds decent. Maybe a little less, maybe like 5,000 maybe, like 10,000, 5,000. I'll say 10,000 for now, so yeah. So Deku, I'll say at that same night, Deku's bored. I mean, he's bored being a vampire by himself, so I mean, if you know, you know. Momo gets a surprise wake-up call. Of course, Deku explains, your parents are dead. Yeah, I killed them, drained them of blood. Yeah, nothing left of your parents. Not even a corpse. The only thing you can probably see is our bones, and even so, I cleaned the bones so well. There's no DNA on the bones unless you grind the bones into a fine powder to figure out what type of flipping DNA. So yeah. Anyways, how you sleep? As you know, she's like, she's freaking out. Oh, don't worry, darling. I'm not gonna hurt you. You're already one of me. Don't worry. Don't worry. As you know, she gets confused. Look into a mirror. Look into your mail on your neck. Then you'll see. You'll be one of my allies. Of course, UA starts. UA is decent. Also, Deku does do, computer or, Zoom for classes and whatnot. He does, eventually get through school under a different alias of, Ethan Winters. So, yes. Don't worry. All I got to do right now, I already have a couple people that I've been waiting to see. And right now, I'll let you do. As she kind of freaks out. Deku just closes the door. That's one ally of the Memory Rosa family, rich. Money is very needed, especially when it comes to corruption. Of course, with the money, we don't have enough money to kind of go over our boundaries, but we do have enough money to at least run our state, you can say. That's the only amount of money we can do. Electricity, water, and some other things. Now, what should I do now? I have a couple years until I can go to UA, so why not make panic? As you know, in that entire year, genocide has occurred. With, other vampires, you can say, appearing out of nowhere. Due to, the interference of Deku, of course, creating more vampires. And, Toga was also there. Because, would she? Yeah, she's sneaking. Yeah, I'll say, Dabi, everyone else was kind of just sneaking. So, Todoroki family was sent to their home. No, I said, no, Dabi wouldn't be in. But, people who are villains, or, just classical, people who don't have enough money but got quirks to, jump a fence, just go there. Unfortunately, they didn't know. It was kind of getting raided by, a one-man army. So, yeah. And this all happens in, a severe amount of time. Over this time span of a couple months, Deku has already an entire army of vampires. Practically. And technically werewolves as well. Since werewolves are still technically infected, so yeah. Deku right now is practically on the top right now. He's on the top of the food chain right now. When it comes to that part of, the outskirts of Japan, so yeah. So Deku would be waiting. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, he'll have the ranking of Mother Miranda. Mother Miranda is the top, the last technical final boss. So Deku, if you comment down below, who do you think's a vampire in UA? Just comment down below. I'll say heroes were also turned. Comment down below. So yeah, count how many people were turned from the actual My Hero Academia series. Just count down. So yeah. It's been years. There were interference with heroes, but, the heroes are kind of, declined access. Of course, during the panic with, the entire genocide thing. Yeah, a lot of people did die, but, a lot of people were morally turned into vampires. I'll say like half of them were turned into vampires. They were like 5,000, and the other ones were like, I'll say like a decent people. Like I guess like half of the population was like turned into vampires, and the other ones were like food. So yeah. And I'll say, eventually Deku, the people who, did end up surviving, or, still human at least, were ruled ruled under Deku. So yeah, Deku technically has his own kingdom practically. And this isn't even the beginning of the flippin' actual thing. So yeah. Deku is 15 right now. He has vampires, werewolves, humans under his control. Or technically, society control, since, he technically does own the land. The only reason, the surviving people don't, die is because Deku doesn't allow them to. That's kind of their, the food source. The only reason Deku allows them to live is, of course, duplicate, repopulate, using physical activities, and, just kind of, an infinite food source for Deku, so yeah. Yeah. And I'll say, Deku does have them, but, the, vampires, werewolves aren't that strong. Flipping bugs. Anyways. Deku, when I mean they're not that strong, I mean they're not even, they're like minimal, mid-range, like not in mid-range, but like they're like super, like minor super strength, minor super speed, just they're not that strong. Which I mean. Like the only ones that are strong are like the overlords of the place. Which I mean, Deku's technically Mr. X of the place, so I mean, yeah. Deku kind of represents Mr. X, Momo represents, I guess, Demetrish, but, us, less tall version. Toga, well, no, I wouldn't say anyone else would go there, because, no, it kind of killed the mood. Of course, there will still be people, but, I mean, yeah. The vampires, vampires, at least, not, the ones that are, outside, the main cast, are, kind of weak. They're kind of, just, yes, they are a lot more stronger than normal people, but, they're, they're on par with, kind of, I guess, midway quirks. So, just minor quirks. Even if, they're minor, they're still, they're still able to kill flipping people. But, like, a lot, but, I mean, yeah. Now that this has been over with, I'm tired of all this screaming. I want to go to UA, but I need one of you to stay behind. Of course, you all, as you know, he looks down at, all of his, allies, werewolves, vampires. You all will be protecting my lands. If any humans from, this city or the towns try and go to the castle or, go beyond their boundaries, you know what to do. I'll be leaving for UA, you all. I'll be coming back shortly, or in a couple of ways. And I'll see you all later. As you know, Deku goes to UA. Entrance exam. So, Deku right now, he has, decent, super speed, decent, strength. Not, faster than Ida, but decent, though. I'll say maybe, at least, as fast as a cheetah. That's how fast Deku is. So, like, still a lot more slower than, Ida. And the strength of, I'll say, a gorilla. So, just minor strength. Not that big. Still flipping strong, but I mean, yeah. He may be looking weak, but when it comes to, public and, publicity power, he has a lot of it. Especially since he kind of has a, like, an army. And can, just rampage it all. So, I mean, yeah. So what happens now is that Deku, when he goes to UA, he does, have darker hair. But not darker hair, but not like black hair. He has like a dark, like bluish greenish hair. So he doesn't have black hair. I'll say Hisashi had like blue hair, so it's like a blue greenish hair. So yeah. Still very dark, but blue greenish. As on the screen. As Deku, he is very tall for a person. And is very strong. No, because I think he'd be a bit stronger than a gorilla. Like, just a bit. So, yeah. Deku goes to the extra exam. Endeavor, Endeavor's kind of, there are, still things, there are police in, Deku's place. Or, in his city, he does have his own police station, medics, he does have, technically, he's running his own city practically. So, I mean, yeah. Police, everything. So, yeah. And yes, the, human population is, I'll say, like, there's a total of, 3,000, total of 30,000 people. Like, maybe like 500 of those are like, or maybe like 1,000 of those. Like, just a third of them are like just werewolves and whatnot. Werewolves and vampires, so yeah. So, they're kind of, the cops and whatnot, so yeah. Anyways, so yeah, also Endeavor's kind of like banned from the land, so yeah. Because, the weaknesses of infected is, fire, so I mean, yeah. That's why, Deku didn't take him head on. Interesting. As you know, he enters the extra exam. He, gets in Class 1A. Deku's seen as like a father figure to like everyone. Due to his personality and, power ranking. Because he is the strongest of all of them. Now, I'll say there's like 1,000 of them and like 300 of them are like vampires and whatnot, so yeah. Because I don't believe, it's that big. But, I mean, the land portion is pretty big. So, I mean, yeah. He technically still is kind of, running his own, kingdom or city or whatever. So, I mean, yeah. So, still a lot of people. Like, still a lot. As he looks. Gets into Class 1A next day. Goes into Class 1A. Guess who's surprised to see him? I mean, not surprised to see him, but, Bakugo screaming at Ida, whatnot, doing the same thing as in canon. Bakugo looks at Deku. As you know, Deku in this, he's his alias, and he's, Ethan Winters. So, I mean, yes. Because, I mean, he's not dumb enough to flip and, just expose himself. Because I'll say, Endeavor did tell, everyone about, Oh yeah, there's this kid called like Demetrius Winters. Izuku Demetrius Winters. As you know, Deku's alias would be Ethan Winters. So yes. Oh, like I don't know, just yeah, Ethan Winters. So yeah. Or Ethan. No, he'd be Ethan Midoriya. Nah, because he'll use that against. Yeah, so he'd be Ethan Winters. Yeah. So no one will know it was be him. Nezu would try to have spies go over to see the city, but they will fail or end up getting caught by the vampires stuff. As you know, Deku. Deku, how would you say? Deku, and we go to, a flashback. Deku did have a friend or slash brother. His only friend had a type of metal quirk. Kind of like Magneto almost. Yeah, he's kind of, he's the guardian of the city. If they, real wolves and, vampires can't catch someone, dude kind of catches them for him. And yes, he is technically the first, besides, Momo, to be, a vampire, so yes. And his name will be Carl. Carl! Nah. Okay, I need to stop making jokes now. Deku would be. Quirk examination. Aizawa, sees, he feels something different about Deku. Doesn't know what it is, but he feels something different. Deku gets like 1,000 because minor super strength. Not a great big deal. So yeah. What he? Yeah, he would get 1,000. So he'll get decent in like all the tests. So he get more persistent, most persistent to get the best out of everyone. I'll say he got like he may have gotten first, but his stats are equally just distributed. He didn't get first. He didn't get first in any of them, or second or third. But except for either running because no, he'd get fourth in, running, because, Bako and Todoroki, but yeah. He changed the way he looks as well. No, I'll say he had a mask. Yeah, I'll say he had a mask when, the entire fiasco happened. So he had a mask on. Or just had, this emo-ness, I guess, so yeah. He also wears black, so yeah. I'll say during that he wore, like, I say he wore like maybe like a leather jacket maybe, but besides that, the little differences in clothing. So yeah, they see they do see how tall Deku is. He's pretty tall. When he took off his shirt, they did see like a lot of scars and whatnot, but at the same time they saw how he was jacked, very jacked. Kirishima, that's when, Mineta tried to, you know how this is going. Deku already chosen, his next, vampires. Yes, he is kind of snatching them from, the city, or, Hosu, or, UA in general. Snatching them to, join his side. Right now he only has Momo, but, he technically does already see them as, his children. Because, he still has, that father figure about him. So, yeah. Imanada gets thrown out by, like, his fist when he tried to look. Thrown out, the room. Or technically punched out the room. Or locked in, or if you want it easiest as possible, locked in a locker. The only thing that made Bakugo antsy was, the crest, or, the locket Deku had. Ah, yes, I found the name. Yeah, locket. Yeah, the locket Deku had, which Deku or Bakugo really did recognize, but he didn't say anything about it. He thought, it looked very similar to, Izuku Midoriya's, but, he just thought, nah, I couldn't be that loser. This man's too tall and, strong to, be that loser, so, I mean, yeah. As you know, now we go back to present time. Heroes versus villains. As that's where I'm going to end this video. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.